Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture on of government schemes, and today what we are going to do, we are going to cover Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Livelihood Mission, which is your day NRLM. Okay, so before starting today's session, to our new audience, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can also join our Telegram channel to get the PDF of this and every lecture that we provide here on YouTube. Alright, so see, in last session what we did, I share this table with you because NABARD examination, it is going to be soon. So what we are going to do, we are going to cover the most important schemes that are important from NABARD examination point of view, right? So that is why we have decided to go ministry wise for a while. Okay, so we are going to cover Ministry of Rural Development first, then we'll move ahead to Ministry of Animal Husbandry and Dairying, then we'll cover Ministry of Panchayati Raj, and at the end we'll cover Ministry of Agriculture, because at that time this time period would be near to the examination. So all the things that we'll study, that would be fresh in your mind. Okay, so this is what the pattern we are going to follow. Now talking about today's session, today's scheme, which is our National Rural Livelihood Mission. So what is it about? See, in rural areas, if we look at the livelihood opportunities, what is livelihood? It is basically the way you earn money for the daily survival. Okay, so the livelihood opportunities in villages, they are quite restricted. This is due to the lack of education, lack of technology, and especially lack of awareness that how can you utilize the resources that are available in that particular area, in the rural areas. Okay, so that is why this National Rural Livelihood Mission, it was launched to provide an ecosystem, to create an ecosystem for what? For awareing people, for creating this awareness that what are the different livelihood opportunities that they can follow in rural India only, so that they do not have to move to urban area for their survival or for the livelihood needs. Okay, so that is why this particular mission, it will provide an ecosystem of awareness for, first of all, awareing the people, the rural people, and then also providing them with financial help so that they can establish their own business or enterprise or whatever they want to establish. Okay, so this is the basic concept of National Rural Livelihood Mission. Now, before understanding all the important dimensions that are asked in the examination, there is a brief history that you need to know. Okay, so initially there was one scheme that was launched in 1999, and it was named Swarna Jayanti Gram Swarojgar Yojana. Okay, so it was more or less similar to what day NRLM is, but it has its different objectives and key features. Okay, then after that a lot of modifications were done in this particular scheme, and then this was relaunched as what we call Ajivika National Rural Livelihood Mission, and this was done in the year 2011. Okay, so you're looking at, this is Ajivika and this is your Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, right? What happened? This scheme with the same key features, with the same objectives was, but it was relaunched with the name Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Livelihood Mission in 2015. Okay, so what happened in this time period from 2011 to 2015? Nothing changed, no key features were changed, just the name was changed. Okay, so if asked when the particular scheme was launched, it should be 2011. Okay, it would not be 1999, because this was a altogether separate, different objective scheme, right? There were a lot of modifications done, and then it came into existence in 2011 as National Rural Livelihood Mission. That is why this answer would be wrong, and also 2015 would be wrong, because at that time period only the name was changed. Rest of the key features, objectives, aim, target, everything was same as what was launched in 2011. Okay, so let's do what is the launch year of this scheme. So we have already understood, it is 2011. Okay, ministry we know it falls under the Ministry of Rural Development, and see, it also takes financial help from the World Bank. Okay, so you should be aware of this as well. Now let's talk about the aim of this scheme. So the aim we have already seen when we are understanding the objective of why the scheme was launched, right? So that was to mobilize 10 to 12 crore rural household. We are talking about all the households that are in rural areas into SHG. What is SHG? It is the self-help groups, right? So here this self-help groups, here people, they come together, they form a group, and then they start a new enterprise. They can do some new activity together. Okay, they can club their money which can be utilized. Okay, so everything that happens in a self-help group. So here the aim of the government is to make as many as self-help groups as possible, so that what happened in long term, what happened, they have good job in their hand or livelihood opportunities. Job here does not specifically mean by the government, here we are talking about self-employment. Okay, so here this is the aim of the government. Next is type. So which type of scheme? It is central sponsored scheme. What does it mean? That the funds that would be distributed between the state and the central government. And what is the budget for this particular year? That is 13,336 crore. The budget has been assigned for 2023 2022-2023 for day NRLM. Okay, so what would be done in this particular scheme? Okay, so here are the key features. So we have already understood that under this particular scheme what will be done, people would be aware, they would also, not only they would be aware, but also skill development of them would be done, right? So that what happened, they actually know how to do that, right? So this skill development, it is known as capacity building. Apart from that, so first they have aware you, then they have also developed skills in you, and then after that they'll also provide you with financial help. They would make you aware of the different ways you can take financial help, so that you can actually set up the enterprise, or you can actually execute the skill that you have just attained. Okay, so there are different key features, we are going to look them one by one. Okay, so here in day NRLM, it focuses on universal social mobilization. What does it mean? To include everyone. Okay, here we are talking about women also, so at least when women members should be brought under self-help groups, focus on vulnerable section. Okay, so we are talking about universal social mobilization. So we are covering all, we are not just focusing on one section of the society in the rural area, we are actually promoting women to come forward, to be part of self-help groups, to be a part of an enterprise. We are also focusing on the vulnerable section in the rural areas. Next is participatory identification of poor. Okay, so this will be done by the people living in the rural area themselves, but there would be verification that would be done by the Gram Panchayat. Okay, once they have been identified, so special focus, special care would be taken care of them under this particular program. Next is community fund as resources. So in this particular scheme, there are two types of funds that are focused on. One is revolving fund. What is a revolving fund? This funds never dies, or this fund never ends. It keeps on revolving or it keeps on renewing. And second is community investment fund. So here the fund we are talking about for the community investment purpose. Okay, so there are two kind of funds that are under day NRLM. This is one of the key features of this particular scheme. Next is financial inclusion. So because we talked about, see, people living in the rural area, they should also be part of this financial system, right? So that they can avail loan, they can get, they can save their money and they can take interest on that. Okay, so this is all would also be taken care under day NRLM. So in this particular financial inclusion section, we are talking about both demand and supply side of financial inclusion. What does it mean? First of all, people, they would be aware of the ways they can actually take loan for their enterprises. Okay, and then on the banking side, if we talk about the supply side also, in that various subsidies will be provided, or various the loan on the less interest rate that will be provided, so that there is a proper system, ecosystem that is developed in the financial inclusion section of this particular scheme. Next is livelihood. So here vulnerability reduction employment enterprises. So we are talking about how can they reduce vulnerability in the rural areas by awareing them about the employment ways they can do, self-employment they can do, and also help them with setting up the enterprises. Next is about convergence and partnerships. So here not only the government that would focus on developing the rural area, but various private partnership would also be included. So government, they would do what? They would make efforts so that private enterprises, they can also enter and help the government with the day NRLM objectives. Okay, so that is why convergence and partnership is also there, and sensitive support structure. In this we are talking about the people, the trainer, we are talking about skill development, who would provide the skills, we are talking about helping them during the incubation period of the enterprises. What does it mean? That while enterprise it is being set up and it is being run, there would be trainees who would be taking care, trainers who would look after that is everything is going properly or not, right? So here we are talking about sensitive support structure, means the people who would be engaged in training, they would be sensitive towards the rural people, right? They should be patient with them and help them to understand and to grow, right? So these are all the key features. Apart from them, there are also 2-3 points that we need to focus. Let's see, NRLM funds we are talking about. So 25% of this is being reserved for the Ajivika skill development program, okay? Because we are talking about capacity building, so 25% of this would be reserved under this particular section. That is a program that is being run under day NRLM. See, one thing you need to remember, that this is an umbrella scheme. What is an umbrella scheme? That there are many sub schemes that work under this particular one scheme, and they all have the same objective. And what is the objective of day NRLM? To improve the rural livelihood conditions, right? So in that we have one program, that is Ajivika skill development program. Next we are talking about encouraging public sector banks to set up rural self-employment training institutes. And as the name suggests, these institutes, they would help in what? They would help to improve the skill, or they would help in the capacity building of the rural youth, so that they can have new ways for the livelihood that they can do in the rural areas. Next we are talking about a national rural livelihood project. So we are talking about trainers that would help the people in the rural areas to set up an enterprise, to know about the different livelihood options and other things like that, right? So for that also there should be a proper training that needs to be done, right? There should be a proper training of the objectives that need to be inculcated into the trainer's mind, so that they know what they are doing, why they are doing, and in a proper way, right? So that is why this National Rural Livelihood Project has been designed in a subset of National Rural Livelihood Mission, and this is for what? To create proof of concept, okay? So to know about what needs to be done and how needs to be done, capacity building of the center and states. Here we are talking about the people who are at the administrative level, okay? For them, this is the project in 13 highly poverty states, accounting for 90% of the rural poor in the country. And this would be done, this would be here, the states would be identified, okay? So there are 13 highly poverty states where this particular National Rural Livelihood Project would be done. So there is a proper capacity building at the administrative level, at the state and central level, so that when they impart the knowledge in the rural areas, so that would be in a better way, okay? So these are also some of the key features that you needed to remember, and that is all what you have to understand from this scheme point of view, okay? So here's a homework for you all. The question, it says, what is the name brand launched by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs for marketing the urban self-help groups products, okay? Because see, usually self-help groups, they are associated with the rural areas, right? But here we are focusing on the self-help groups that are in the urban areas, and this is the homework for you all, and that is all in this particular video. See, one thing I wanted to ask before ending this session, that currently I have decided to schedule the schemes ministry wise, right? Because these are the important ministries from NABARD point of view. But I want you to ask, is this the right approach for you? Because at the end, whatever we are doing here, that is for your benefit, right? So you tell me, is this ministry wise is fine, or should I go for the schemes that are in news? Or what we can do, I can cover one ministry, then we can do 2-3 important schemes that were recently in news, maybe due to the revised guidelines or something new initiative that have been taken into that place, right? So we have 3 options, right? Either I can go ministry wise, what we were doing. Second is going randomly the schemes that are in news, and the third one is covering one one ministry, then doing 1-2 important schemes which have been modified in the recent time, and then moving towards the second scheme, second ministry, and then doing this approach, okay? So do let me know in the comment section what would be the right choice for you, and whatever be the maximum side would be for the or maximum votes would be, will follow that approach. Okay, so that is all in this video. If you have any doubt, any query, you can always write to us. Thank you.